We're now in Dcad lesson 22B, and we're dealing with a floor plan. I'm going to hit Z for zoom and zoom up on this floor plan area. Also, last week I was discussing the wall bracing down below, and it stated that the wall bracing along that front of the garage where the 16-foot garage door is would not comply. I took a little closer look at that and found out that actually will work. And we'll be dealing with wall bracing, and specifically that wall in particular, in a future lesson. But anyway, that's good news. So we're all good to keep on going with this project. And we're dealing with a floor plan right now. And so what I want to do here first is go into my layers and go into make layer 5 current. We're going to be dealing with our upper floor here. So I've made layer 5, which is our upper floor plan layer, our current layer. So what I'm going to do real quick here is just click on this and open up the info box. And that's saying that's in layer 1. I'm just going to duplicate that layer, just hit N to duplicate it, and right click to that same corner and change that to layer 5 for upper floor plan. And since that's already selected and I'm in layer 5, I'm going to just hit equals, the equal sign, and that's going to just deal with our selected layer here, and click on it and pull it on down and right click on that inner line. Okay, so now I'm going to hit L for layers and get rid of layer, or just hide layer 1 and layer 2, at least momentarily. Actually, I'm just going to leave 5 up and just go to hide all. Okay, and clicking on this layer, I can see that that one's already correct for everything that we need as far as our line width, and it's 0.08, which is what we typically use for floor plan, new floor plan. So I'm just going to click on this interior line and use the same as command here. Click on that and make it the same as our exterior wall line there for upper floor. So now we have our exterior wall. So the next thing we want to do, we're going to go ahead and locate a bathroom. Now to the right hand side here is the west, and also to the right hand side is the existing residence, primary residence. So generally I try to minimize windows on the west side because they can get a great deal of heat build up in the summer from the western setting sun. In this case, we'll get some a little bit of blockage from the existing residence, but it's a single floor, so we're not going to get much. So I've decided that for actually several reasons, I want to locate the bathroom along this western wall. That'll help reduce the amount of windows that we have along the wall, and I might, because we're going to probably make this a studio apartment, I might end up putting a closet or something else along the rest of this western wall. We'll just see how that works out. So so this is going to be a basic, very simple bathroom. I'm going to make it 5 feet wide, and if I include 3 fixtures, say a tub shower, a toilet, and a lavatory or vanity, that's basically 3 fixtures, and those pretty much occupy on the average about 3 feet each. The tub shower will probably actually be like a 32-inch or something like that. But we'll start out with a little bit extra, just a little bit extra room. Now, a couple things I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and click on the black color, so I'm in the color that I want to draw in. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same as with a line command, the same as, and click so that my line will be 0.08 in thickness and filled. So that way we're just doing the floor plan lines the way we want to do them. The plumbing fixtures I'm probably going to locate along that west wall, mainly because it's going to help us as far as our waste lines are concerned and all of that. And also having the waste line run along that west wall, it's a little bit closer to the street, and so it's just going to create a little bit additional efficiency. So hit V for vector. I'm going to draw these bathroom walls real quick and just gravity move to the inside corner and hit point relative. I want to go -5. And then I'm going to just come down 9. Remember we said like 3 feet per fixture, and we can reduce that or increase it a little bit. We have some flexibility there, but I'm just going to hit point relative again, hit 0. So I'm in my X and come down to my Y and go -9. And come on down. I'm just going to hit H in this for orthogonal mode. Go over to here and just hit K. And hit my scroll button to initiate the command. And now I'm going to just click on that line. Hit H to go out of orthogonal mode, and I want to hit F2 for parallel by distance, and I'm going to hit Tab and make that 3.5 inches. Hit Enter. Click on the selected line and come on over to the left a little bit, and there we go. So this is basically what I'm looking at as far as the bathroom. And the reason I went along the north-south axis here is because it gives us an additional 2 feet in this axis, and so I just think that the space is going to be a little more usable that way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to worry about trimming these lines at this point in time, because I may move them, depending on what I decide to do as far as the fixtures are concerned. So I'm going to now go into I want to go with fixtures hue. That's layer 8. I'm going to click on that. It's going to ask me, do I want to make an invisible layer, change that to a current layer? Yes, I do. And so I'm going to hit F9. I'm sorry, Control F9 for a symbol, and I'm going to go to my symbols, and I'm going to go to up one layer and go to plumbing, and I'm going to put a 32-inch tub shower in. So and that particular one is just come on down that symbol down to tub, and I'm going to go tub 32.1. Click on that, see what it looks like. Perfect. And it has a drain on the right side even, so I don't even have to mirror it. I'm going to click open and just right click and stick that guy right in there, and then initiate the command by hitting my scroll button or hitting enter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and explode that. And so I'm going to go over here and click on selection explode and explode that, and you can see that now all of the points are visible. And now I'm going to go over there and make that define that as a group. Okay, so now I can duplicate that if I want, or move it around. It's all, I can escape it, unselect it, but I click on it and it selects the whole guy, the whole thing. So next up, what I want to do is I want to locate a toilet, and I'm going to put it along that west wall also. So I'm going to hit Control F9 again and scroll on down until I get to my toilets. And toilet 1 is my go-to toilet, so to speak. And I'm just going to click open. And so the toilet space wants to be at least 3 feet, and that's what that. I'm going to set it here for a second and just hit enter. That's what that red dashed line, or will be a red dashed line, is. That indicates our 3-foot toilet space that I try to do on for every toilet. So what I'm going to do is so that means, because this is a 32-inch shower and we'll have a little bit of extra space, but I'm going to actually come down 18 inches, which is half of that 3-foot space. And so I'm going to hit M for move now, and just gravity move to the tub, and hit point relative, and I want to go -1.5 or 18 inches either way. And now I'm going to just use my arrow and go in this arrow over to the left, so that kind of straightens it out, because this is a 2-handled symbol, and set another point by hitting the 0, and there it is. Now I'm going to explode that symbol also, and you see I just exploded it. Now I'm going over to group define it. So now the real question is how much room do we want to leave for a lav or a vanity? And 3 foot for a simple little place like that is really pretty good. We don't need a double vanity for this thing. So I'm going to have a little more than 3 feet available here. If I just use my dimension command, I can get over here and tell that I have 3'4", and so that's plenty of room actually. So I can easily put a 3-foot vanity in there, which would work nicely, and place my door over here. So I'm going to hit Control Z to get rid of that dimension, Control F9, and scroll on down to vanities, and there's a vanity 36, and there it is right there. I'm going to open, and so from that I can come. And I think I'll hold the space over by the toilet. So I think I'll come up from this wall. Also, typically what I do for any kind of a cabinet is I'll hold it 1/2 inch from the walls for 1/2 inch sheetrock. Some people use 5/8 for the walls these days, but I'm assuming 1/2 inch on this guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gravity move down here to this lower right corner and hit point relative again. And this time I'm going to come up 1.5, but also going to deal with that 1/2 inch, both on the wall behind it and the 1/2 inch on the wall at the bottom where I'm at right now. So what I really want to do here is I want to, if I'm going to position this thing correctly right now, really what I want to do is I want to go, we'll call it 18.5 inches, 18.5 inches up, and I want to go on the X dimension, I'm going to go minus 0.5 inches. And then if I just arrow to the right, this one I'm going to have to rotate. It's only got a single handle. So R, tab 90, and rotate it at 90 degrees. Now I'm going to zoom up on this area so you can see that there is a little space here. It's really hard to tell, but there is an actual 1/2 inch space here. The wall is pretty thick. The line for the wall is really pretty thick, but there's a 1/2 inch space along there. And so we have an additional 4 inches or so, or 3.5 probably left now, between that toilet space. But that's great for a toilet paper holder or whatever. At some point in time, that's something that we want to definitely consider. So I'm going to go ahead and explode this symbol, and then I'm going to group it. Okay, so I made it a group. So that's the basis for our bathroom. And actually that 9 foot worked out pretty well. We can reduce it down a little bit if we want. But at this point in time, I'd like just to have a little additional space there. We're going to want to locate a door. And the door will swing in. It'll be a left-hand door. It'll swing in. This is not an accessible bathroom. It's on the upper floor, and we don't have any kind of elevator access or anything like that. So be pretty difficult to make it very accessible. I'm going to use a dimension command because I want to see how much room I have available here in front of the vanity. And so I have about 3'2". So I can easily, and I'm going to be dealing with a little bit of a return here on this corner here for the door, about 3 inches or so. So I should be able to. I'm going to try a 2'6" door. So hit delete for that, and I'm still in layer 8 for my fixtures, so I'm going to hit Control F9, and I'm going to go up here for my symbols, go from plumbing. Now I'm going to go up 1 level, and I want to go to doors, and I want doors sized interior, and I want a left-hand 2'6" left-hand interior. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over 3 inches here now. So gravity move, 3 inches, tab 0, and I can just arrow over and set another point. And it places the door symbol in there. So you also notice that that it's also displaying the attributes, which is a good way to keep track of doors and windows if you want to generate a window and door schedule downrange using the materials list command. And that's where that is located here in File. And you come on down, you click on Materials List, and it'll generate a report of all of your attributes that you have. So at this point in time, we have this guy in here, and I'm going to go ahead and explode it also. But this one I'm not going to group at this point in time. And the reason is when this thing's exploded, you notice that everything's in layer 8. Well, when I import the door, I'm going to zoom up on this so you can see it a little better. It also imports the wall lines, and those should be in layer 5 for the upper floor walls. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit Escape, and these 2 lines, I'm going to select those, and you can see they're in layer 8 at this point in time. And I'm just going to scroll up to, I can see the 5, and put them in layer 5. And then I can just trim these 2 guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over here to my basic trim toolbox and click on that, and it explodes on out. And this guy right here is, I'm going to trim between 2 lines. So I select, first, here's your instructions. 1 is the line to be trimmed, and 2 and 3 are the intersecting lines you want to trim it to, or trim it between. So I'm going to click on this line I want to trim, and I'm clicking on this door line and this door line, and I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to hit F3 to repeat the command. Click on this wall line, and click on these two lines, and it trims it. And hit Control R, and regenerates. So now we have our door. So this guy here is actually I want to make that whole thing should be in 0.04 line thickness. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click. I've selected it already. I'm just going to use my same as command and click on this door, and it turns it all into 0.04 line thickness. That's what that door is. You can see right here when I select it. Okay, so the bathroom looks like a go at this point in time. Take a look and see what I have remaining here. I don't really have enough room for a closet at this point right here. So I might either do a closet down here and just have a little dresser space along here. I'm going to be dealing with that in a minute. I don't think I have enough depth there for a closet. Let me see what I have available. And it's too tight. No big deal. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and trim these walls. So I'm going to use that same trim command. Trim between two lines. Click on it and click this line and these two. And it does it. You can see now. Hit F3 to repeat the command. Click on this line, and then click on these two. And there it is. So we have our bathroom walls and our fixtures there now. So what we might want to do is just go ahead and put a closet along here. I'm going to leave a little space here for dresser room or whatever. But I do want to have a closet at this northwest corner. So to do that, let me get an idea. Hit V for vector, and from this corner, see how far out I could come. 8 feet would actually do me pretty well. Let's see how much I have available here. I have almost 12 feet available. So 8 feet would leave me some dresser room there. So that sounds like that might work. Okay, so I think what I'll do is hit V for vector and just come up about 8 feet for now, and I can change this and relocate it if I want to. So 0, 8, and come out 2 foot 3.5 minus 2 foot 3.5 inches, 0, and then hit H. Come on down, okay. Okay, so now hit H to go out of orthogonal mode, and to select that line, hit F2, and it's already from our last entry. It's still 0.2917, which is 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to click on the wall, and we have our closet there now. Unfortunately, both of these, if I hold down Shift, select these, are in layer 8. No big deal. I can just click on this and move them into layer 5. Okay, so I'm going to do bypass doors, and what I'm going to do here is just do since I have, see how much space I have available in here. It's going to be 7 foot 8 less, or a little bit less than 7 to 8. So I think I'll use a 6 foot bypass door, and I can go ahead. Zoom up on this area a little bit and do my wall trimming. So I'm going to go ahead and just take care of that. Click on hit F3 to repeat the command. Click on the line I want to trim, and then 2 lines I want to trim between. Okay, so I have my closet all set up. Now all I have to do is my door. So I'm going to hit Control F9, and I'm still indoors, but in sized interior. So I want to go up to here, and here I see bypass. And here I have a 6 foot door bypass, or 6.0. So I'm going to click on that and just click here, and just to see what it's looking like here, how I want to do this. So I have 6 feet, and since it's bypass, it means the rough opening is probably 6'1". So if I want to center it on this wall, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this minus 90, rotate it counterclockwise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit M for move and just hit Control K, and it'll center it on that line right now, which is just temporarily set. And so what I want to go do is move it down 3 1/2 inch. So let's see. 0 minus 36.5 inches. Boy, that didn't work at all. Try that again. M, Control K, M. There we go, and hit enter. Okay, so we have our 6-foot bypass door positioned at this point in time. I'm going to zoom up on that, hitting Z a little bit so I can trim my walls and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and explode that at this point in time so I can separate out my little wall lines here. And again, it puts both the text for the bypass door and the attribute for the bypass door. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to click on these two lines and put them in layer 5. And then I'm going to do some trimming between them. And so I click on this. Since our last one was still good, it still has it in the trim between two lines mode. So I'm clicking on the line I want to trim, and then click on the lines that I want to trim between. Control R so we can see that. And then hit F3 and click on the line, and then again the lines that I want to trim between. And there's our door for our closet. Next thing I want to do is do both a shelf and a closet rod. So for I'm still in layer 8, so V for vector, and the shelf is going to come out 12 inches. So I gravity moved to this corner right here, and point relative on -1, tab, and then 0, and hit H for orthogonal mode. Just come on up to here and right click, and so there's my my shelf edge, but I also need to do a closet rod, which is going to be 2 inches in from that and parallel with it. So I'm just going to hit F2 and tab 2 inches and go ahead and bring it in. So I have those two lines, both edge of the shelf and the closet rod. So now what I got to do is I need to go ahead and change the line type. So I'm going to go to layers, and I'm going to go ahead and open up layer 20. That's my lines layer. And so this guy right here, the edge of the closet, that should be 0.04, and it's 0.08 because I'm still in the wall mode. I'm going to go out of that right now. Well, I'm just going to do this first. Okay, so there's that, and then the closet rod, I selected it, and I hit Control W and go over here to my lines, zoom, Z for zoom, and zoom up on this area here, and let's see, closet rod, floor plan closet rod, and use the same as, and click on that, and so hit Control M and Control M again, and takes us back to where we were, and so now we have the edge of our shelf and also the closet rod. Control W. The space that we have here between, let's zoom back up to that again. Control M. The space that we have here for a dresser or whatever, just want to check that out real quick, is 3'9½", be 3'8½" after it's sheetrocked. So we have good room there for a dresser or a bench, or several things that we can do there. I'm thinking at this point in time that I probably will want to locate a window along there somewhere. I know I'm going to probably want one behind the toilet also, just bring some natural light into the bathroom. But one of the things I'm going to want to do is minimize, like I said earlier, minimize the glazing on this west side. Now I'm going to hit Control Z to get rid of that dimension, Control W, and so here we have the beginnings of our floor plan. Hit Z for zoom, and we'll just kind of let that fill the screen. And so now we can start looking at areas that we might want to utilize for a kitchen. And so and I'm thinking this area right here, so that way we can have the east wall, some of the south wall, and the north wall for glazing. So that's going to give us a pretty decent sized living area in here for arranging furniture, set up a TV, that sort of thing. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to locate the kitchen pretty close to this bathroom, for plumbing reasons. This is actually a pretty good location for it. It allows a little dining area over here, and then a major living area over here. So we've made some progress on our floor plan, and that concludes Dcad lesson 22B, dealing with a floor plan.